How often do you say, I don't know? And not genuine, oh, I'm not sure, I don't know, let me find out, but reflexively, I don't know. This is the number one issue I see again and again with my clients working in readings, mentoring, is the I don't know problem. When we have a habit of saying, I don't know, because we don't want to make a decision, because we don't want to take a risk, because we don't want to get it wrong, we actually affirm to ourselves subconsciously that we are incapable, that we're disempowered, that what we want to create, the life that we want to create, what our intuition, hearts dream of, that it's far away. The habit of I don't know what I know to be true as not only intuitive, but working in and growing up in a family where vibrationally I don't know wasn't allowed as an answer, is that there's a really high cost. And that high cost is helplessness. And you are a divine, inherently connected, creative being. You are more powerful than you can even recognize. So in this video, we're going to talk about breaking the habit of I don't know, and instead replacing it with some new tools to understand why we do this, how to stop this pattern, and also to start to get back in flow so we can actually start to change the paradigm of how we see ourselves and interact with the world. So before I go any further, hi, I'm Sonia. I'm a 4th generation intuitive, and I teach you how to plug back into your innate divine self, your intuition. And I am here because I know that you are a magnificent, powerful being. And you know, the reason why I am coming up with this is in readings and mentoring over and over and over again, I will ask clients questions. One even as simply as today, how's your spirit? And the immediate answer I'll get a lot when people are really disconnected is, I don't know. I don't know. Before they've even taken a moment to be curious, before they've even just opened up into anything aside from this reflexive pushback. The first thing that tells me, and can tell it yourself, is when we say I don't know, often means that we don't want to get something wrong. It deflects a certain amount of responsibility. Because when we say I know, that also helps us to take action. When we say, I don't know, it's a big way for our little egos to, like I said, not take a risk, to prevent injury. And the way that it does that is by inaction. If I don't have to make a decision, if I don't have to do something, then according to our little ego intellect, there's no cost, right? We're not going to take any risks. There's nothing bad's going to happen. I get to just luxuriate in this, or just give myself some more time for this space. But when we keep saying that, if I don't know, and it becomes a habit, we hide from our authentic selves. We hide from our capability. We hide from our power. We hide from the most powerful words that we have in the English dictionary or in language, I decide. I am, and I decide. It's very different than I don't know. Now, really quick, let me just differentiate two different vibrations. There's I don't know as a habit, because you don't want to make a stake, you don't want to stake your claim, you don't want risk, it's overwhelm, it's habit, it's hiding, versus the authentic energy of I don't know, which means I don't have an answer. That's okay. I need some more information. The second I don't know also requires a bit of self-reflection. And with that saying, look, I'm actually open to new answers and support, and is a very different energy. It's like when you go to, I'll call to mind somebody who knows the answer to every single problem. And even if they're wrong, we'll be like, oh, I know the answer. Reminds me of a TikTok video that I recently saw of a dad. His daughter was talking about Mike Wazowski, which is a character from Monsters, Inc. And she was like, hey, there's Mike Wazowski. And the dad was like, oh, yeah, totally. I know Mike Wazowski from back in the day. All this stuff, right? For him, instead of saying, I don't know, his issue is this opposite of I do know. From that little ego, I know everything, which I have to laugh. But that's a different than a boss, somebody's in leadership. You could say, you know, what's the solution to this problem? What's going on? They say, actually, I'm not sure. Let me go learn more. Different energies than the reflexive I don't know. So let's just start there. Second, when, you know, what we like to believe, our like ego intellect likes to believe that we can only take action when we know, right? It's like, oh, I can only decide that I want to start a business, because a lot of times I don't know, it's like our intuitive promptings will ask us to do something, to change something, to take a risk, to do something new. And our little heads will say, wait. Like, I need to know all the information on how to do that before I do anything. But if you really think about your life, if you think about all these things, there are so many things that you did not know how to do before you learned. So if we can frame this as I get to learn something new, I get to be curious. You didn't know how to walk before you started walking. You didn't know how to read before you started reading. You didn't know how to be in a relationship before your first relationship. And it wasn't until you took action and jumped in that you learned how. It was constantly, I don't know, then we'll be in that waiting bank forever and ever, which gives overwhelm and indecision and cuts us off from the magnificent power and spirit and creative force that you are. So I want you to just first start looking and connecting with your spirit. It's like, I am capable. I am powerful. I can take risks. I can make decisions. This is where we can start to be our own believing eyes. I don't know also often says to ourselves that I don't trust myself and I'm not sure I can. So if we can just start to reframe, train our little ego intellect to be on board of like, I can do this. I have a beautiful friend, Marina, who I love so much. And I was talking to her about different experiences that were way out of her comfort zone. And I was asking her what led her there. And she said to me, you know, I just wanted to see if I could do it. I just wanted to see if I was capable. And I loved that reframe because it was curious. It wasn't, oh, I have to prove this. It was, I wonder if I can do that. That made it really achievable and exciting and engaged her. So in that same way, it's like, oh, I can be my own believing eyes. I'm not sure if I can, I'm not totally sure if I can be the bass lighter at the festival stage because I'm learning how to DJ. I don't know if I could do that, but I wonder if I can. Ooh, I bet I can. I bet I can learn how. Being our own believing eyes moves us out of I don't know to decision and starts to bring in our own power. These are teeny tiny baby steps that we can move from just thinking about our dreams to moving in the direction of creating them. Like I said, your intuition will prompt you. So pause. You know, if you have the reflexive habit of I don't know, pause. This is what my mom would always say to me when I said I don't know. Is that true? Is that true? A gentle pushback. You can ask yourself, is that true that I don't know? And take a breath. Sometimes I don't know protects overwhelm. Sometimes we're not ready to make a decision. That's okay. If you can take a breath, tune in. Is that true? Often, no. Second, it might be, I don't know yet, right? Yellow light vibes. And instead you can say, okay, instead of I don't know, I am figuring it out. I'm feeling it out. I'm gathering information. I need a moment before making a decision. This helps us to reframe and get out of right, wrong, good, bad, all or nothing. And instead helps us to change this habit and this relationship with hands off the wheel. I don't know. When you can also practice in the same way of saying, I don't know, if I were to have no attachment to the outcome, and if I were to be wildly successful with no negative consequences, like genuinely, I have full freedom, reign to make a decision. If I asked my spirit, my intuition, what would that be? What shows up? Notice what pops up. This is a great practice to start to bring in our intuition. I am bringing in a new experience. I am seeing what shows up if I wasn't afraid of taking a risk, if my little human parts weren't afraid of the consequences. And in that same place, if I'm unattached, what shows up? Second, if I were to be my own believing eyes, what would I love to do? What feels good? What's the vibe? Right? These are simple ways that we can start to move into the direction of the energy. Last, I decide. I'm making a choice. Sometimes if you're a guy, your intuition is leading you to something and you're still gathering information. Maybe you're still in what we call yellow light vibes. It's like this, push this, we're feeling a vibe. We're not really sure on making a decision. Also just say, okay, I'm choosing not to make a decision right now. I'm still gathering my information and I'm okay with that. That is a decision. We can also say, I will check back in X amount of time. And this is also important because often if we're not ready to make a decision because we're afraid of being uncomfortable, we're afraid of change, our little heads can push it off till forever. Now, if we can give ourselves a little bit of spaciousness and then make a promise to ourselves to check back in and then to make a decision, and maybe gather a little bit more information that also teaches us to trust ourselves, trust our vibes, make these decisions without having it to be pressure. Because the big thing is intuitive guidance will ask you to change, it'll ask you to pivot, it'll ask you to be flexible, it'll ask you to do different things. So when we say, I don't know, not only is that not true, but it's just a cop-out. It's a cop-out. So instead, say, I do know. I'm still learning. I know what I'm doing. I will figure it out. And that reframe helps to train our human parts to be in service to our spirit and to start to see yourself in a new perspective. It's like I said, the glorious, magnificent, capable, fantastic, beautiful, divine, innate creator that you are. So give yourself a pause and just check in. Is that true? I do know. And then what's the step in the immediate to start getting that momentum? So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's very chock full of lots of tools and things. And let's break that I don't know habit because it causes more strife than we deserve, because you do. And like I said, also come join me for my workshop because you do know the fastest way to simplify your life is $10 September 12th. Like for example, if you've been wanting to develop your intuition, tools, community, all of it, and there's been a big thing of like, I don't know when, where, what, how, use this as a decision. Decide, okay, I do know. I'm diving in. It's $10. It's recorded, sent to you, chock full of tools, ask questions, all of it, and more. And even better is I am opening up my fall cohort of YOUniversity September 12th. And if you sign up for the workshop, you get $100 off on top of it. So win, win, win. So I just want to send you all my love. I can't wait to see you at the workshop. Come to my website. I do intuitive readings, mentoring, all that kind of jazz, because you do know. Trust your vibes, trust your spirit. You can't improve upon it, as my Nana would say. And you are a divine, amazing creator. And I just love your spirit. Don't you love mine? I'll see you next week. Bye.